Okay, good morning and welcome to this week's All in the Mishpacha. Over here, class act, Rabbi Armo Kusus. Again, another article that I'm not going to be talking about at All in the Mishpacha this week. We're talking about this article. It's called The Camel and the Car by Dr. Meir Wickler. I don't know if he's a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist. I don't know exactly what he is. He appears once in a while in the magazine. He talked about a very interesting concept, a very interesting topic that I'd like to talk about. He starts it off as this: Baruch and Chevy, I guess they're not the real names, were professionals in their 30s, tall and very self-assured. They were tall. They seemed comfortable with each other, and quite at ease consulting me about their 8-year-old son, Nachi. We would like to treat our son, Baruch began, getting straight to the point. Both parents agreed that Nachi was bright, athletic, and well-behaved at home and in yeshiva. He also got along well with his two younger siblings. Their concern was that Nachi was somewhat socially withdrawn and appeared to lack confidence. As a result, he had few friends, and the few he did have were not close friends. We're looking ahead, Baruch explained, and we don't want him to continue this way for the rest of his life. If possible, we would like this cleared up while we're still young. We want you to help him overcome whatever it is that's causing him to be this way. So he asked a couple of questions. Is he bullied? Things like that, victimized. They finally conclude, Dr. Meir Wickler noted the problem, that he said that he has nightmares, and twice a week the kid sleeps with his father after he has his nightmare. So he said, Dr. Meir Wickler said, that's the reason. You have to treat him to be independent. You can't let him sleep in the bed with you. Now, I don't know how many parents let their kids sleep in the bed with them. I only know from my own life. There was a point in my life when my first kids, my first daughter, she slept in the bed until we moved her to the crib, when she was like a year old. And then she still kept on coming at night. And there was, sometimes, yeah, sometimes not. Eventually she used to climb out of the crib, or when we put her in a bed eventually. Eventually it was annoying, and I said, listen, she's not sleeping in my bed. I own privacy in my own bedroom, and I don't want my daughter sleeping in my bed. Not because, I felt that she wasn't growing up, she wasn't mature enough. She's still only 5 years old. But I thought, I don't want her sleeping in my bed. There's less room in my bed when she's in my bed. So that's the reason I don't have my kids sleeping in my bed. And if they come in the middle of the night, they know the rule is they can't come in until dawn. Because I need room in my bed. And I don't like it when they come in the morning. There's less room in my bed. But the point is that this kid was an 8-year-old kid. And Dr. Meir Wickler told him that he didn't have independence. And he told him the only way to get this kid to have more friends is to get him to stay in his own bed at night. The mother didn't want to do this. The father did. The mother ended up going away on a trip for 2 weeks. And the father begged Dr. Meir Wickler to help him, basically get his kid from stop coming into his room. So he was successful. And 3 months later, Baruch called to inform me that Nachi seemed to have come out of his shell, quote unquote, and was making friends in yeshiva. And he goes on to explain the importance of letting kids, have independence and make their own decisions. And if you don't, on the one hand, you want to protect your children. On the other hand, if you don't give them independence, they're not going to grow up and they're not going to make friends. They're not going to be the most popular kid in the class. Now, I don't know exactly when the father reported back to him exactly what type of friends he had. Was he the most popular kid? Did he have now good friends? I just want to focus on the problem before the solution. The problem, they come to him, they say, 8-year-old kid. All right, he's a good kid. He's smart. He's athletic. He plays with friends. He just doesn't have close friends. And he's shy. He's withdrawn. He gets along. He behaves himself in the house. He's a good kid. He plays along. He gets along with his siblings. He probably has a relationship with his siblings. So the problem over here is that he's shy and he's withdrawn. Is that such a problem? I don't think that's such a crazy thing, to be honest with you. There are a lot of people out there who are adults who are like this also. There's a lot of adults out there who, you know, smart people, maybe good at business, you know, they're athletic or whatever, they have their own hobbies that they're good at. And when it comes to socializing, they're withdrawn. They don't have, they're not the most popular person. They have maybe some friends, but they're not close friends. I would say that 90% of people are actually like this, to tell you the truth. I would say 90% of people in the world don't really have friends. And I don't think there's anything wrong with not having friends, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything technically wrong with not having friends. There's so many people in this world, you know, people, you know, always compare, when you're growing up, that's basically the deciding factor whether you're successful in life, at least from your perspective. How many friends you have? Do you hang out with the most popular guys in school? That's really the question in life. Are you a popular kid? How many friends do you have? You know, that's when you're in grade school and you're in high school, sometimes in yeshiva. Is the guy a popular guy? Is he not a popular guy? Does he have a lot of friends or not? At the end of the day, you know, when you get married, most people don't have time for friends. And if you have too many friends when you're married, you're not going to have a good marriage, to be honest with you. Maybe after you're married, you have room in your life for one good friend. First of all, that's assuming that you can make a good friend. And second of all, that you want to have this friendship with this person, that he's really a friend. A friend is somebody, I would say, a real friend is somebody, it's a mutually beneficial relationship, meaning where both people want to be together at the times that they're together, and when they don't, either one of the two people doesn't want to be with the other person, whatever reason being, either they're not interested or they have something else on their calendar, so they're not going to spend time together. They're not going to be friends. They're not going to spend time together because it hurts one of them. When you're extending yourself for someone else to be his friend, or he's extending himself for you, that's not a friendship, right? Because he doesn't want to be there. If one of them doesn't want to be there, that's not a real friendship, and there's no point in having a relationship like that. So if you're able to have a real friend, it's someone that you like spending time with, you have shared common interests, and when you're together, you both want to be there. And if one of you doesn't want to be there, then you leave, and the other person's okay with it. If they're not okay with it, that shows there's a problem over there. So what this kid was diagnosed as having, his parents thought he has a severe problem. I don't think it's such a severe problem at all. I mean, this is basically what I was when I was growing up. I was like this also. I was smart. I was athletic. I got along well with my siblings. But, you know, it's not like I didn't have friends, but they weren't close friends. You know, I never had close friends when I was growing up. For many years, I didn't have friends. So, and I think most people are like that, to be honest with you. They're always in the class, there's always some popular kids who have all the friends. You know, he's friends with everybody, and he's the coolest guy in the class. But after you get older, and especially after you get married, when your time is much more limited because you have a wife and you have kids, so you don't have time for friends, right? Maybe one friend, but you know, even the whole concept of friends, I'm skeptical of whether it's actually worth it or not, because family is important. Family, I agree, is very important. I believe that having a close relationship with, you know, it talks about in the Torah, it talks about Zion Krovim in the Torah. There's only 7 people in the Torah that you have to set avelis for. And if you're a Kohen, you have to bury them. You know, your parents, your siblings, your children, and your wife. So those are the 7 people that the Torah feels there should be some sort of relationship with them. There's nowhere in the Torah that mentions that you're supposed to have friends. You know, friends is a made-up concept, I believe. I think friends is a stupid idea. I don't think it's a good idea to have friends. And most people who claim to have friends really don't have friends. And I think it's the saddest thing to see, you know, when people go and they claim or they try to have a lot of friends. I don't even like this idea of social. You know, I daven here in the shul over here. And after shul is over on Shabbos morning, I leave and I go take my kids to the park. I can't take my kids to the park because I want to spend time with my kids. They're my kids. I'm supposed to have a relationship with them. I take them to the park. Some shuls I see emptying out. And I remember when I was younger also. You have these men socializing with each other. Why are men socializing with each other? I mean, unless you're talking about your actual real friend, someone who's really a friend. There's no point in socializing. I see men socialize with each other. These people are not close to each other. And then when you get married or you marry off for children, right? You have to invite all these friends, your quote unquote friends, to your wedding or to your kid's wedding. Why? Why are you inviting them? Why are you paying for their 50 or 100 shekel, $100 sometimes for their portion of the meal? Because they're your friends? No, you just want to look like you have so many friends, because we always care what other people think of us. That's the way human beings are. We care so much. What other people think? Oh, he's having 400 people at his wedding. Oh, this guy's such a popular guy. He has so many friends, so many associates, so many close people in his life. At the end of the day, no one has that many people. You don't have time for that. If you do have time for that, that means there's something wrong elsewhere in your life with your marriage or your kids. So no one has time for that, realistically. So the 8-year-old kid, I grew up like this. I didn't have friends when I was growing up. Nothing bad happened to me. Now, when I grew older, I'm able to make friends. I could have a friend. I had a friend here in Telstone, but, he left Telstone. So now I have no friends here in Telstone. I'm not embarrassed about that. I don't care. I don't have time for friends. I had a friend here that I was close with, and when we spent time together, we enjoyed spending time together, talking for half an hour or something like that, and that was it, But the whole idea that he's diagnosing, these parents found a problem with their kid, that the kid does not have friends and is withdrawn, and the only friends that he has are not close friends. That's the case for the majority of 90% of kids growing up. Even the popular kids are the ones who are able to make friends. And when you're in school, grade school, you can have time for 5-10 friends. That makes sense. But when you grow older, even if you're not married, when you go your own way, you go after your profession or whatever, you're in school, in college and things like that, you don't have time for friends. No one has time for these things. So I feel like these parents over here are worried about nothing. And the fact that this doctor is diagnosing their kids, and he's saying, oh, it's because the parent is sleeping with his father twice a week after he has nightmares, that will solve it. And solve this problem. Apparently it solved this problem. It says he has come out of his shell. Now he's the most popular kid in the class. I doubt it. I doubt that's what happened. It just maybe looks to you, maybe he's trying an effort to make more fake friends, right? These friends that you invite to the wedding or you invite to your parties who are not really your friend. Maybe he's better at putting on a show. But that's basically a peer pressure. Peer pressure. What does the other person think about me? Does he think I have a lot of friends or not? That's all we care about. All people care about is what other people think about them. They don't care what's good for themselves. It's a very sad thing. It's very hard to push through that and to recognize that the real things in life that matter, the only thing in life that matters, was good for me, right? Obviously, the people that are close to you in life you want to treat well, but don't think about what other people think about you. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. And this problem is not a unique problem to this child, and the solution is not there's no solution to this. A lot of people are shy, are introverted. Even people who are extroverted don't have so many friends always. So it's not really a problem. This is the reality of life. The reality of life, whenever you go to a simcha and people say, I'd like to thank all my friends and family, and some of that has become part of the vernacular. I think they say friends and family. Friends come before family. There's no such thing. Friends is a made-up concept. I don't believe in the concept of friends at all. If you have one friend that you're close with, an acquaintance, I don't know, someone that you enjoy spending time with, maybe you can call them a friend, maybe not. But friends, plural, no one has multiple friends. You're a cool kid in class because you have a lot of time, nothing to do with your time. When you grow up and you have important things to do with your time, you have family, you have work, you don't have time for friends. Friends is a made-up concept, a stupid idea. I think that the idea that society imposes upon us that say you have to have a lot of friends, you have to be someone that's social, and no one wants to be social. People, unless you're a really extroverted person that really enjoys being the life of the party, there are people like that. Right now I'm one of those people, but when I was growing up I wasn't one of those people. But unless you're one of those people, you're not going to enjoy socializing. So many people, when they socialize with other people, they just do it so other people around them look at this guy, he's such a social person, or the person you're speaking to, you're thinking, wow, what does he think about me? He thinks I'm such a social person. Most of the time, both people deep in their hearts would rather not be talking. I would say 95% of the conversations that people have, deep down inside their hearts, they really would rather not be conversing. But you go, your wife asks you, "Oh, who did you meet today in shul?" You want to feel impress your wife that you have friends. You want to impress your children that you have friends. You want to impress your friends that you have friends, right? So it's all about impressing other people. It's not deep down in your heart. Do you really want to spend time with this person? If you can answer that you really want to spend time with that person, there's a mutual benefit. You enjoy talking about certain things. So that's fine, but usually it doesn't happen. It usually doesn't happen unless you're an extrovert person. And even if you're a really extrovert person in your life of the party, once you get married and you settle down and you have, life and work and, family, you don't have time for friends. There's no such thing as friends. It's a made-up concept. In the whole world, it's not just a Jewish thing. It's a made-up concept. And there's plenty of people that grow up that they don't have close friends. Maybe they do have friends when they're younger. When they're older, they don't have time for friends. So whatever the diagnosis was, and the problem he's by his doctor is basically, he's corroborating what the parents' fear is. Parents' fear is not a fear. Just tell them the fear is not a fear. It's perfectly normal, right? He's a well-adjusted kid. He's good at sports. He's smart. He gets along well with his siblings. He gets along with his family. What else do you need? So he doesn't have close friends. The whole world doesn't have close friends. Everyone's just doing it because of peer pressure. That's what I have to say about the matter. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week.